War is a machine designed to destroy the human body. It has clear rules. If you are shot in the head, you die. If you do not sleep for 11 days, you die. If you take enough methamphetamine to kill a horse, your heart explodes. These are biological facts. But throughout history, there have been a handful of soldiers who looked these rules in the eye and simply ignored them. These are the three men who glitched the matrix of human biology. Our first anomaly takes us to the meat grinder of World War I, 1915. It is the one unbreakable law we all share. We are slaves to sleep. Defy it for 11 days and you will likely die, except for Paul Kern, a Hungarian government official drafted into the chaos of the Eastern Front. During a suicidal charge against the Russian lines, a bullet pierced Kern's right temple. He fell. He was thrown into a mass grave. He was left for dead. But miraculously, he didn't die. He woke up in a Budapest hospital. His wound healed, but when night fell, Nate never came. Doctors were baffled. They theorized the bullet had surgically destroyed the specific section of the frontal lobe that commands the sleep cycle. They tried everything to force him under: hypnosis, sedatives, even ether. Nothing worked. Kern described it as being trapped in a chemical prison. His body would go limp from the drugs, but his mind remained fully, terrifyingly conscious. Kern didn't go mad. Instead, he entered a lonely, perpetual existence. While his family and city slept, he lived a second, shadow life in the silence. He read thousands of books. He walked empty streets. He watched the sunrise every single day for 40 years. He only rested for 1 hour a day, pressing his burning eyes shut, fully conscious, just to lubricate them. For 40 decades, he carried the crushing weight of total, uninterrupted consciousness. When he finally passed away in 1955, one can only hope that after 40 years of staring into the dark, Paul Kern finally found some rest. If Paul Kern survived by being too awake, our next soldier survived by being too fast. Welcome to the frozen hell of Finland, 1944. Meet Aimo Koivunen, a Finnish ski trooper on a patrol deep behind Soviet lines. His mission was simple: survive the ambush. Surrounded by Soviet forces, his squad had to escape on skis through deep snow. Aimo was the squad's designated carrier of Pervitin, military-grade methamphetamine, the drug that powered the Nazi blitzkrieg. The safe dosage was 1 pill, maybe 2 for extreme emergencies. But in the panic of the escape, freezing to death and exhausted, Aimo didn't take 1 pill. He couldn't get the bottle open with his mittens, so he poured the entire bottle into his hand. He swallowed 30 pills. That is enough methamphetamine to kill 10 men instantly. What happened next is one of the most insane survival stories in recorded history. Aimo didn't die. He became something else. He entered a state of drug-induced delirium that lasted for 2 weeks. He skied faster than humanly possible, leaving his own squad behind. He hallucinated battles that weren't happening. He fought imaginary wolves. He skied into a landmine, blew up his leg, and didn't stop. He lay in a ditch for a week, eating nothing but pine buds and a raw bird he caught with his bare hands. And through it all, the chemicals in his blood refused to let his heart stop. When he was finally found by friendly forces weeks later, he had skied over 400 kilometers alone. His heart rate was a staggering 200 beats per minute. He weighed only 94 pounds. He had essentially vibrated his way through the Arctic Circle, fueled by a lethal dose of chemistry that would have exploded a normal man. Aimo Koivunen didn't just survive the war, he lived to be 71 years old. Sometimes you don't need drugs or brain injuries to cheat death. Sometimes you just need sheer, impossible luck. Our final story takes us to the Mexican Revolution, 1915. Wenseslao Moguel was a soldier fighting against the government. He was captured. He was sentenced to death without trial. The sentence was immediate execution by firing squad. This is not a metaphor. Wenceslao stood against a wall. 8 soldiers raised their rifles. The order was given: fire. 8 bullets slammed into his body. Wenceslao fell to the ground, writhing in pain. But the procedure wasn't over. To ensure the job is done, the commanding officer performs the coup de grâce, the mercy shot. The officer walked up to Wenceslao's bleeding body, placed a revolver point blank against his head, and pulled the trigger. The bullet entered his right cheek and exited below his left ear. The officer holstered his gun and walked away, leaving the body to rot. But Wenceslao waited. He waited for the footsteps to fade. He waited for the sun to go down. And then the man with 9 bullets in his body stood up. Despite having his face shattered and his body riddled with lead, he crawled away to a nearby church for sanctuary. He was treated in secret. His face remained permanently disfigured, a map of the violence he had endured. But he lived. He became known as El Fusilado, the executed one. He toured the world, showing his scars, living proof that sometimes death just misses. He lived a full life, dying of old age in 1976, 60 years after he was executed. 3 men, one who couldn't sleep, one who couldn't stop, and one who couldn't die. Their stories serve as a terrifying reminder. We think we understand biology. We think we know the limits of the human machine. But when pushed to the absolute edge, the human body is capable of glitching the rules of reality itself. Which one of these fates would you fear the most? The endless night, the chemical frenzy, or the execution wall? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the dark corners of history.